Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take sources you're curious about and really pull out the key insights fast.
Yeah, no fluff, just the core ideas.
Exactly. You're here because you want to learn, get those aha moments, and, understand something properly without getting totally bogged down.
And today, we're diving into Neville Goddard.
Right. Specifically that 1955 recording, How to Use Your Imagination Mental Diets. It's pretty foundational stuff for his work.
It really is. It lays out how he believed imagination isn't just daydreaming. It's the creative force in us.
So our mission today is basically to unpack his techniques. How did he think we could consciously use this power to get what we want? Okay, let's get into it.
Well, what's fascinating right off the bat is just how central imagination is for Goddard. He really felt people massively underestimate it.
Like we think we're just reacting to stuff happening out there.
Precisely. But he flips that completely.
Hmm.
He argues imagination is the engine inside us, the creative power. He even calls it God in man.
Wow, okay, so it's this inherent potential.
Yeah, and he claimed everything, absolutely everything, is like plotter's clay to our imagination. Malleable.
That's a huge idea. He tells that story, doesn't he? About someone listening to him talk?
Oh yeah, the person who felt they had to touch the chair, touch the rug.
Yes. Like they needed proof the physical world was still solid.
And Goddard's take was, well, that just shows how tied they are to the outside world, completely missing the power within.
Which leads perfectly into that early example he gives, the young girl.
Ah, yes, the 17-year-old. That's such a poignant story. It's Christmas Eve.
And she's just lost her father, right? So incredibly sad time.
Devastating. And she's walking home, rain. Everyone else is festive, and she's just feeling this immense sadness. But then, on the streetcar...
She does something specific. She doesn't just wish things were different.
No, she actively engages her imagination. She vividly imagines herself arriving in the Bay of Samoa.
Not just a picture, but the feeling of it.
Exactly. The feeling of stepping off the ship, the whole sensory experience, as if it were happening right then. That's the key. Neville stresses again and again, feeling it as done.
And the result?
It's pretty astonishing. About 10 days later, boom, a letter arrives. Unexpected inheritance from an aunt she barely knew.
Enough for the trip.
Enough for the trip to Samoa. And then, a month later, she's actually sailing into the bay at night. And she gets this intense wave of déjà vu.
Because it matched her imagined scene?
Perfectly. What she'd felt so vividly just weeks before was now her physical reality. It's like, wow, a perfect illustration of the technique he's about to teach.
Okay, so what is that core technique then? Boiling it down.
It sounds simple, maybe too simple. He says, put your imagination right into the feeling of your wish fulfilled.
The feeling. There it is again.
Always the feeling.
Yeah.
And then fall asleep completely wrapped up in that feeling.
So not just thinking of the wish, but feeling from the state of already having it.
Yes. And making it feel utterly real. Give it all the tones of reality, he says. Use all your senses in your imagination.
And the promise is
That the state you successfully feel yourself into as you drift off to sleep is the state you will objectively realize.
And you don't worry about how it happens. The steps, the logic.
Nope. That's not your job, according to Goddard. The how, the means, will unfold, often in ways you couldn't have predicted. Your task is just to live in the end result, imaginatively.
He gives some concrete examples to make this clearer, right?
Yeah, crucial for actually applying it. Like, say you want a home, but maybe the money isn't there right now.
What do you do?
You imagine you're in the house.
Yeah.
You mentally walk through the rooms. You touch the furniture, feel the textures, hear the sounds. You inhabit it in your mind. Forget the current bank balance during that imaginative act.
Okay. And what about, say, a promotion?
Same principle. Don't just wish for it. Mentally be the person with the promotion. What are your new responsibilities? How do you talk to people? What does your office look like? You live as if it's already happened.
So you're feeling the satisfaction, maybe the confidence of already being in that role.
Exactly. It's a shift from wanting, which implies lack, to embodying the having.
And for finding a partner, he uses that example of a woman.
Yes, imagining the feeling of a wedding ring on her finger, making that sensation absolutely real, tangible in her imagination just before sleep. The ring implies marriage, so she falls asleep in the feeling of being married.
He even connects this to the Bible, doesn't he? The Song of Songs.
He does. That verse about finding the beloved and bringing him into my mother's house. For Goddard, That's a metaphor.
For what?
For feeling yourself into the situation of your desire already being real while you're just sitting there, maybe in your chair, and staying with that mood, that feeling, until you fall asleep in it, making it your inner home.
This really drills down into that distinction he makes, which seems critical. Thinking of versus thinking from.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Thinking of something keeps it separate from you. It's over there in the future, maybe.
But thinking from it.
Means you've mentally moved into that state. You're dwelling in the feeling of it being real right now. That's where the power lies.
He had a personal experience with this, didn't he, back in 33?
Yeah, a friend apparently explained it using John 14, the many mansions passage.
Mansions aren't places in the sky.
Not according to this friend. There are desires, are fulfilled states. And the key was to mentally construct that state, enter it, and live from it in imagination.
And Goddard wanted to go to Barbados. No money.
Zero money. But he took the advice. Night after night, falling asleep, he assumed the feeling of being in his father's house in Barbados. Just lived it internally. Yeah. Within a month, an unexpected invitation arrives. Spend the winter in Barbados. Paid for.
Wow.
And he stresses this technique never failed him when he truly gave the imagined state that sensory vividness, that feeling of reality.
Yeah, it's quite a statement. Makes you think.
It really does. So beyond just creating future stuff, he also talks about revision, fixing the past almost.
Yeah, reliving your day as you wished it had gone. He calls it a healthy and productive exercise.
So if something went wrong or someone was unpleasant,
you mentally replay it, but change the script. You rewrite the conversation, you imagine the outcome you wanted instead. Like if you got a nasty letter, you imagine reading a wonderful one.
So for you listening, think about maybe a difficult conversation you had recently. How could you revise that in your mind tonight?
He tells that amazing story about the woman estranged from her daughter-in-law.
Oh, yes. 2 years, no contact, gifts ignored. Really painful.
So what does she do with revision?
For 7 nights straight, she meticulously imagined receiving and reading these incredibly loving, detailed letters from her daughter-in-law and grandson. Really felt the joy of it.
And it worked.
Astonishingly well. 8 days after she started, actual letters arrived. And they practically mirrored what she'd been imagining. The tone, even some phrases.
That's powerful evidence for the idea.
And he's clear. Revision isn't just for relationships. Health, too. Imagine a friend saying, "Wow, you look great." And you reply, feeling fantastic.
Or even injuries.
Yeah, mentally performing actions as if the injury wasn't there. The key, he says, is getting so absorbed in the revised scene that your senses almost feel heightened within it. You really live it internally.
Which all ties into what he calls inner talking or mental diets.
Right. This is huge for him. He says we're always talking to ourselves internally, constantly.
And those conversations, they're not just random noise.
Far from it. He believes they are the cause of our life's circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
But he goes further, saying our conscious thoughts actually follow these deeper inner conversations.
Exactly. So if you want to change your life, you have to change that inner speech, the habitual chatter. He calls it shedding the old man and putting on the new man by renewing your mind's inner talk.
So the world we see is basically a printout of these hidden conversations.
That's his view. Often unconscious dialogues we have with ourselves, which explains why blaming the outside world doesn't really work long term.
If the inner talk stays the same, the results stay the same.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He gives the example of the woman having trouble at work.
She was mentally arguing with her boss all the time.
Constantly. Replaying grievances, imagining confrontations, and guess what? Work was difficult.
Until she changed the inner conversation.
Yes. She deliberately started imagining him praising her, thanking her, being appreciative. A total reversal internally.
And his actual behavior changed.
It began to mirror her new inner assumptions and conversations. It really highlights how powerful that inner world is.
He says even idle words, those little mental grumbles, have an impact.
They all contribute. And he offers a way to use this for others too. Helping a friend, for instance.
Yeah.
You imagine hearing their voice vividly. You congratulate them on their good fortune, whatever they desire, and you listen in your imagination to their happy reply. You create this loving, knowing communion.
All happening now in your imagination.
Yes. The present moment is where creation happens, through that focused inner attention, as though you heard.
He also mentioned how our own fixed negative attitudes about people can actually block them from being kinder to us.
Yeah, if you constantly expect someone to be difficult, you might just be creating the conditions for them to be difficult with you. It's quite the feedback loop.
So the core message is consciously talk to yourself from the assumption your desire is already real. That's how you create circumstances.
Which leads right into the power of assumption itself.
Right. He basically says truth isn't about external facts. It's about the intensity of your imagination.
Yeah, think back to that employee. Her assumption was unfairness, so that's what she got. She changed the assumption.
And the reality shifted.
Because the mind, he argues, operates based on its starting assumption. So if you want success, you have to assume success first, regardless of current evidence.
Even if everything outside seems to contradict it.
Especially then. Persist in the assumption. Live from it internally, and it will harden into fact. That's his famous line. Signs follow, they do not precede.
So assuming a new concept of yourself is changing your inner talking, it's putting on that new man.
They're intertwined, and he insists these unseen inner talks are way more powerful than anything you say or promise outwardly.
Our desires need our assumption, our mental yes, to become real.
Exactly. They need that human parentage, as he puts it, which is our conscious assumption.
So the practical application seems clear. Choose your inner conversations deliberately.
And vividly imagine your desires as fulfilled. Feel it. Assume it. Repeatedly.
Yeah.
And he really wants you, the listener, to test this. Don't just take his word for it.
See your own life as the testing ground.
Yeah, he says the world reflects our inner talking, whether we use it well or poorly. Negative talk, judging, envy. It just breeds more negativity outside.
He suggests meditating on a phrase.
Yes, a short phrase implying the ideal is already real. Like, isn't it wonderful, or thank you. Repeat it inwardly until it really sinks in. Until you feel it.
And hold on to those noble inner convictions.
Because they will become facts if you persist. Everything, he repeats, comes from imagination via these inner conversations.
The great secret of success, then, is
controlled inner conversation from the premise of fulfilled desire. And that means you have to let go of the old negative inner talk. Can't serve two masters.
He also emphasizes using this lovingly for others.
Immensely powerful, he believed, like mediating God or good into their lives through your own loving imagination.
It's about active imagination, not just passively accepting appearances.
Exactly. Engage your senses in the desired reality until you feel that sense of completion. Imagination is the gateway of reality, the truth, the life of that state.
And our inner talking shows us where we really are mentally. Has the future dream become a present fact inside us?
That's the test. Imagination is the prophet's power. Our experiences are our inner word made visible, linked directly to our conversations and moods.
So if you don't like what you're experiencing,
you need a change of mental diet. Feed your mind noble, loving thoughts. Those inner words build your world.
Okay, let's try to wrap this up. The key takeaways seem to be, 1, the incredible creative power of your own imagination.
2, that core technique.
Yeah.
Really living in the feeling of your wish already being fulfilled, especially as you fall asleep.
3, the power of revision, mentally rewriting past events to align with your desires.
And 4, the absolutely critical role of your inner conversations, your mental diets, in shaping everything you experience.
And the big message for you listening is that you have this amazing ability, this agency, to consciously shape your life by using your imagination and directing your inner speech deliberately.
It puts the power squarely back in your hands.
So here's a final thought to maybe mull over. Pick one specific area of your life right now, just one. Where could you start applying these ideas today?
What small shift in how you imagine or how you talk to yourself internally about that situation, thinking from the end, could maybe start a significant change in what shows up for you externally?
Really encourage you to explore these ideas, maybe experiment a little, actively engage that imagination like Goddard suggests.
You might genuinely be surprised at the results.